Penrith have made the finals 8 out of the last 10 years.
Wow.
That's a brilliant record.
Good systems. That was what makes them hard to beat. Their systems are so good. They're just... they're physical. They're not that big. They're physical, they're fast, and they work hard. So like whenever you look up, there's always organised people in front of you. Get you down.
So Jerome Luai has been named. This would be an incredible comeback. 3 weeks after a dislocated shoulder, which looked bad. When we were calling the game that night, he came off the field and the shoulder was clearly dislocated. Now, here's vision from him training earlier in the week. Sunday, actually.
Now, has he got one of those seatbelt things on? You go opposite arm, opposite leg or something like that?
Remember Jeff Tuvey? He'd have one on each arm.
What's that mean?
So Jeff Tuvey...
You have like a seatbelt that comes across, and if you're going to lift your right arm, your left leg has to come up. It comes across your body.
So Jeff Tuvey used to wear 2 of them. So his arms in a game couldn't go higher than that.
Oh. Why?
Well, because you're strapped. You're strapped from there.
So what's the advantage in doing
there?
Well, it stops your arm going back. That's where you dislocate it.
Okay.
So if you're going to go up, you've got to get your opposite leg. It's good.
You've got
to play the
dog about that.
It's just a jump to the left.
Do they roll the dice on Luai? Bearing in mind, they've beaten them twice this year already. They beat them down at Marvel Stadium with Cogger playing halfback, and they belted them.
Well, from an interchange point of view, if Jerome plays and comes off after 5 minutes, how much does that affect your interchange?
Cogger's on the bench.
Cogger's on the bench. Yep. And 26-6, round 23 at Penrith, they flogged them twice.
It just means Mitch Kenny plays a full game,
Plays 80.
which he could. So that becomes a difference.
You roll the dice. If Jerome has to play, because you'd imagine he'd want to play in the grand final. So if he can get through this game and they win, he'll play in the grand final.
Yeah, it's not going to get much better over a week. Only happened a couple of weeks ago, so it's not going to get much better. This injury sort of it'll take a couple of months for all the pain and everything to go away. So, like Joey said, you may as well play him. If you think about playing him in the grand final, you play him and see how he goes.
What's interesting is that Isaac Tungall's been named to return from a pec injury, and they defend pretty much next to each other on the same side.
Yeah, but the injury he had leading in, he got injured at training, which was an injury that wasn't the same as what he was out for. He was out for another...
That was a calf or
a
hammy?
Yeah.
But does that create a target with Luai and Tungall both underdone on the same side?
Of course, you just send Nelson.
Nelson. Good luck.
Would that be a consideration for Ivan Cleary? Do you think Luai will play?
Ivan won't play him if he doesn't think he'll be able to defend.
Yep. Okay.
Just won't play him. The big thing is you can't reach. Someone runs at you and you tackle and you're tight, there's no pain in it. But the moment you reach and your arm gets pulled like that, you'll see his arm just drop by the side, and then after a while he'll be able to pick it up again. Righto, Coach Johns, after 2 floggings for Melbourne at the hands of Penrith this year, how do you marshal your troops and try to overturn those 2 results?
Well, you got to do it defensively, and I think Queensland showed in game 1 and 2, if you can really have a strong, really quick, aggressive defensive line that comes from the outside in, Isaiah Yeo can get spooked with his ball playing, where he gets the ball and looks, and if they're rushing, he'll go back in the middle. So I think a real hard, fast rushing defence from the outside defenders, like a Venus flytrap, let them in and close. I think they back their defence, the Storm. So it's a night game, Friday night out at Combank, which is traditionally...
It's a core.
A core.
Oh, sorry, what did I say?
Combank.
A core, which can get slippery. So that means the rushing defence. But to do it for 80 minutes, it's a big, big, tough ask.
Does Harry Grant start?
I would.
Start him, play him 80.
I'd play him. I think he's got to play the whole game. I think they need to throw them all out there.
They have to start strongly, don't they?
They need to throw them all out there and back their bench.
Big Nelson starting too, you reckon?
If you back your defence, as I've said many times, my greatest coach, I've been coached by Warren Ryan. He talks about in the 80s when he coached the Bulldogs, and he used to say to them, if we keep him to 0, how many points do we have to score to win? They go, 1. And you go, yes. It's all on Munster and it's all on Harry Grant. If they defend that well and can really restrict Penrith to under 10 points, then it's up to Harry and Munster to get them home.
Yeah.
They looked very unorganised from a point of view of, you could see the loss of Jerome Hughes.
A lot of passes hit the ground, didn't
Heaps
they?
of passes hit
Yeah.
the ground. They're relying on the ad-lib play that normally works really fluently and just wasn't there. So, yeah, if they're chasing points, I think they're in trouble.
The last 2 performances have
And
been...
they chased 2 tries against the Roosters.
I reckon they're missing a front rower.
2 tries. Yeah, for sure. Well,
Missing a front rower.
look at all the players they lost. Kafusi, 2 Bromwiches. 3 internationals.
It'd be almost Craig Bellamy's greatest achievement if he could get them to win this. Get them through.
Well, I'll tell you what I did see on the weekend with the Roosters. Roosters were the same. They were so gutsy.
Yeah.
Like nothing was going well, was it, for both teams? And momentum was like going for like 10 minutes. Big swings in momentum. And the teams were really gritty and gutsy. So I've got to say, if they take that and there's a bit of fine tuning and things come off for them, then they're always good enough with Harry Grant and Munster to...
Yeah, the one thing about Munster is, although it wasn't a particularly happy night for him in attack, he tried his backside off in
That's what I
defence, made some big tackles, still came up with a kick and for Warbrick to score right at the death.
Yeah, unbelievable. I reckon that's the best catch I've ever seen. Like the fact that
In the circumstances.
Ponga's hands were there with it, so that if you bobble that a little bit, it's a no try.
And what about the put down?
And had plenty to do to get it down.
He's a bit of revelation, hasn't he?
How did... Well, you know what? Before that game, I went to Collingwood and I was watching them train.
Oh, you did too?
Yeah.
What were they doing?
Well, just how clean they take it and, when they kick to each other, exactly that circumstances, it's just so precise. It's quite amazing, actually. So I watched them train and then they were telling me it's the Collingwood trainers that go over and do some kicking with them and some catching.
Yeah.
But watch him catch like that with Ponga's hands all around it and to not leave his fingers was amazing.
With the finals around the corner, NRL on 9 has you covered.
From match highlights, press conferences, don't forget, Freddy the Eighth.
Of course.
NRL on 9 has you covered for everything. One-stop shop.
Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a moment.